Williamson went 22, 12, and 10 with the second triple-double of his career, second in 2 weeks after the Pels defeated the Clippers 127-120. Windy, do you feel like Zion's on the top of the game right now?
What does this come down to? Even though you're a superstar caliber talent, you're not a superstar because you're almost never available. And as a result, because of that, instead of looking at his greatness and having an appreciation for it and marveling at him being on the basketball court, instead, what we're saying to ourselves is, what kind of impact can you really, really have? You might be considered a bust, not because of your talent, because clearly you're a superstar caliber talent. It's because of the availability due to a lack of durability. And there's no way around that. So you're the Pelicans right now. You drafted this guy, the #1 overall pick. Everybody understands why. Ja Morant has had his troubles on the court, off the court, whatever. And it is clear that he was the guy that is the better pick at this particular juncture in his career than even the great Zion Williamson. Because for all of his troubles, Ja Morant, you can rely on him. And that hasn't been the case for Zion, and that's a problem.
All right.
Pacers down 3. Halliburton's got the ball. Halliburton rises. Oh, and there's the whistle. Oh, my goodness. Tyrese Halliburton hits a 3 and is fouled. You have got to be kidding me. This is almost like the square option in football.
Quick take as we bring in our Brian Windhorst. Get your second wind, everybody. Windy, how would you describe this 4-point play for the win from Tyrese Halliburton?
Well, Redick says this is a mesh pattern. I don't know what that means. I call it an old-fashioned misdirection, an old-fashioned pick play. They didn't want Milwaukee to foul. It's a 3-point situation. Milwaukee fouls, and then you only get 2 free throws. So the whole thing was an effort to get Halliburton the ball in space, just like you would a running back who you're looking to try to break a long run. They ran this type of play in the playoffs last year against the Celtics, and it didn't work. So they've had this in the playbook. Jenny Busick, one of their assistant coaches, is credited with putting this kind of stuff in. And I got to say, they still got a good contest, guys. Giannis is still all over, but it's not like they gave up a wide-open 3. I mean, it was actually kind of a tough foul. And the referee calls the foul before he sees the ball go in the basket. The referee, look here, doesn't even watch the ball go in the basket. He calls it without even looking. So I guess it was a foul, but really, really inventive play and a tough loss for Milwaukee, who's now lost 3 games in a row.
Yeah, 1.1.
That is, guys, pay attention. That is a travel. How do you not call that? He ran to the ball. That is a walk. Go ask anybody. I understand we got to make sure the players can you got to do it by the rules. He took a train with the ball in his hands. That is a traveling violation. Mendy Rudolph would call it travel. No basket. Milwaukee ball. And listen, I understand it gets in the way of a good story. It gets in the way of drama.
Yeah.
We have Stephen A. commenting, the great Windhorst.
Yeah.
Wow, look at this.
Yeah.
Guys, take a look. He ran with the ball to the spot. That is a travel. Come on.
Okay.
Pay attention.
Stephen A., what do you say to that?
Well, listen, Donkey has an argument, but the fact of the matter is people are going to accuse him of being a bit archaic because when you see the step back three, the side step three, etc., you know, a lot of people that said, where the hell did that come from? Back in the day, that would have been called the travel too. So you look at it from that standpoint, I get where he's coming from. Excuse me, but that doesn't necessarily mean that in today's generation that call is going to be made. That's number one. Number two, there's a more important point to be made here. The Indiana Pacers are tied with the Milwaukee Bucks, you know, for the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference. This is the same Indiana Pacers team that took out the New York Knicks in last year's playoffs. They got to the Eastern Conference Finals. Keep on the lookout for them. They could be a threat because they could put up points.
Yeah, absolutely.
The fountain of quotes. This time, saying that the Celtics are the most. He's a fountain of quotes. Disrespected champions in NBA history, Lou. Do you agree with that? I already can think of, one big team, but go on.
I disagree. I don't know. It's hard for you to be the most disrespected team in NBA history when everybody thinks that you're gonna repeat and do it again. Like that's a sign of respect when everybody thinks that you're going to repeat and you're going to be back in the position that you were in last year with the same group of guys. I don't know how that would be considered disrespect. I also don't know the context and what he was comparing this to or what he was saying. But if I really, really like something, it's not disrespectful if I like a restaurant and I'm saying, yo, tomorrow I'm going back to this restaurant, that's not disrespect towards the restaurant, right? Especially if the majority of people are saying the same thing. So I don't know, maybe they're not being talked about as much, but when they do get talked about, the consensus is this is the team that's going to repeat this year. So I don't know where he got to that.
Yeah, I'm not buying it. The Cavs are 55-10. They could possibly win 8 games, and yet the Celtics are still the favorite to come out of the East and to win the championship. So I don't know how that's disrespect. I think that they're clearly the most trusted, respected team since training camp. It's literally, I don't think it's ever changed. It's never wavered, no matter the start that the Cavs have had, the runs that the Knicks have went on. It's always been the Celtics coming out of the East. So I disagree with this. And last year, I think they had an easy run to the path. They had a great path from injuries and certain matchups they had. But they handled their business last year, and they're the favorites to repeat. So, I fully disagree with this.
You know what this is, Chandler? This is the Celtics mentality, us versus everybody. Perk's trying to get the guys going. He's trying to get the people. He's trying to get the people going. That's all this is. This is us versus everybody and trying to get everybody to buy into the fact that nobody likes them. But this is the furthest thing from the truth. They tried to pick apart Jaylen Brown, tried to pick apart Jason Tatum, tried to pick them apart collectively. And so they're just buying into this narrative that nobody likes them. But when we're done talking with all of that stuff, whether Jason Tatum is boring, whether JB is whatever they want to characterize him as, they're still the favorites to repeat. That's no sign of disrespect.
I think every fan base feels this.
If he said Jason Tatum is the most disrespected player, I could argue. I could rally around that. The Boston Celtics, everyone's been saying they're the best team all year long.
I can think of years when the Spurs were not respected as champs. So maybe it's just whoever you root for or you side with, you feel like isn't being respected enough.
Now who's the homer, B?
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm telling you, every fan base, unless you throw a parade every day, we feel disrespected.
I'm sure the Raptors got something to say. Like when they won the chip in 2019, I'm sure they have something to say about it.
Yeah, they brought in a mercenary and he took care of business and that was it. So there's no respect for that championship. I get it, but Boston, come on. Speaking of, I love that we're going from hey, they're disrespected, no one talks about them or Jason Tatum, to the following. Seth Greenberg said that Cooper Flagg reminds him of a Jason Tatum, Grant Hill, Scottie Pippen, Chandler. What do you think about these comparisons for this guy?
You know why this means Cooper Flagg's different? Because we're not just comparing him to another white dude that's played in the NBA. This dude is different. To compare him to those 3 names, which I see the similarities. I see the personality, and I got the dog in him. He's got the swag in him. He's got the game. I think he needs to work on his shot and become a much more consistent outside 3-point shooter. But the kid's a stud. I've seen people say he's the greatest Duke, freshman of all time, which you remember, everyone's coming out of there. Two of those guys right there. He has high expectations. He has potential, franchise of an organization, face of the league type of hype going into it. And there's still rumors that he might go back to college. So this kid's a stud. Going to be very, very good. I think it's going to take him a little bit longer than some people are assuming, but he's got it all. He's dominated. I mean, the dude's freshman of the year, player of the year. Like, he's probably going to win national player of the year. He already got conference player of the year. They're going to be a 1 seed. So I don't know what more he can do in the college level. I think he should definitely come out, but hey, he's probably enjoying
Why?
college.
Why would he stay?
And guess what, Cooper?
NIL money. He's making money.
But
Forget the similarities. Don't go back to school. It's going to be the same teams next year, bro. Come on out.
I was going to say, like, it's not changing. Like, the Wizards aren't all of a sudden
next year, bro.
going to crush next year.
Out.
Yeah. Just get it over with. Rip the Band-Aid off. You'll change teams eventually.
That $4 or $5 million you're making at Duke is cute. You're going to be making 40, 50 million if you come out. Go ahead and be the number 1 pick.
What are we even talking
to the
about?
bank, bro. You'll be all right.
Exactly. You'll find a group of friends. It's going to work out. Koopaloo, who you got? Thunder, Celtics tonight.
Give me the Celtics at home. I always like the Celtics on their own home court.
Chandler.
Yeah, I'm rolling Boston. No James Williams. We're going to see what they're made of. This is a huge game. Could be a preview of the finals. To the Celtics.